Bell One. I want to talk about your bags with you for a few minutes and talk about the winners and maybe fire a team here at the end. We'll see how it goes. So let me see if we can get things going. I'm just going to kind of run through each one, what I saw and thought was pretty strong and interesting, and places we can all keep improving as we think about writing argument over the next couple of weeks together. This first one was the 2-minute case against goal setting, which is a good, intriguing title, I think. I thought their design was pretty clean and smooth, and the doodling is nice. I thought the pull quote was excellent. This quote about goals producing artificial Goldilocks limits. I think that phrase is kind of perfect at getting at the take-home idea. So I like that. I think those are all good things. This one I thought a thing they could think about. You note they start with the Merriam-Webster dictionary definition. I think we could push past that, and so we know what a goal is, right? You could start with that next sentence, everyone strives for success, and that's good. Or you could be really crazy, and I would come down here and think about starting with that Goldilocks sentence. Goals produce artificial Goldilocks limits for yourself. They're either too high or too low, and almost never just right. It's a strong sentence that would pull us in as a hook, and I want to know about that connection and why are you so against goals and how you're going to challenge that conventional wisdom, which I think is underlying that. And then I thought the support here was just a teeny bit general. If we could be concrete with these goals, I think that would make it better, the specificity and the evidence, and we'll talk about that some this week. Okay. The next one was about family. I noticed this one did not have a title. You can see, I think that's a choice that a lot of the groups made. Actually, only one group used a title. It seems like a mistake to me. I think that's one more clue to your reader. This is the 2-minute case against goal setting. Here, it could be a lot of things, right? And you're leaving that open to the reader, which could work, but I think it's a missed opportunity. We've got some pictures of the West, and I think that's cool, this nice buffalo, right? And this one's fun too. This one did the opposite. This one had very concrete details about the trip and the games and so on. And where this one was more general was in the actual take-home message. It's crucial to take time to live in the moment. And that sort of started to feel a little bit more cliche, or appreciate more what we're doing now. Not that those are bad ideas, it's just that those are ideas we might have heard before. Okay. So with both of these two, I think specificity would help. Specificity in the evidence, specificity in that claim or that take-home, right? That's what this one did with the Goldilocks. That was specificity in the take-home. This has specificity in the evidence. The next one is the letters, right? And this one, I think, shows it nicely, the pieces working together and talking about individualism. Got our African proverb. Okay. Cool letter art. The idea here, I thought was fun, right? The idea of the individual being a single letter lost in a sea of paragraphs, right? I think that's pretty cool. I like that idea and that metaphor. They did a good job of teasing out that metaphor. I like that they concede someplace in here that it's a cliche it is a cliche, but it is for a reason. They kind of acknowledge and try to work through that and turn it back to their advantage, and I think they probably do that. George Washington example, it's helpful. Okay, I thought that worked out pretty good too, that he could cross the Delaware alone. There, again, no title. I think that's a mistake. The other spot I was pointing out here, I think is maybe right in here, when you guys use your examples, I don't know how many people run in a field of sunflowers in our class. Maybe a lot. I could picture some people doing that for sure. So anyway, consider that audience, right? And if, I don't know, the laughter one feels more true, I guess, for lack of a better word. And that can hurt your ethos sometimes with the audience if it feels, forced or whatever. But I like the tone. I like the tone of all these. The tone, by and large, really hopeful and optimistic. And Bell 3 had some that made me feel bad about life because I don't feed people in Africa and things like that. But you guys were much more hopeful. This next one I thought was pretty interesting. This is the one about parity, and you can see their hard work and success boat. And I thought a really compelling pull quote that helped frame things nicely. Right, getting lost in the sea of equality and sunk in the shipwreck of parity. Really good work on the phrasing and crafting of that idea. And another comp pun. Can never get enough of those, right? Very nice. But this overall argument, I think this one had really strong voice throughout the piece. Just this notion of, it was a lie. And every time you win a game of Uno, it's a lie. I'll say not in my family, because my wife and I are really competitive and we don't let our kids win at anything, which is another flaw. But anyway, here, the idea of the lie repeated, and it builds that emphasis. It was very nicely done. They used some rhetorical questions here that I think are effective. Is it fair to expect the same? And of course, the answer would be no. And if everyone's a champion, is anyone really a champion? And of course, we would agree with them. That's an effective use of the rhetorical question to get the audience on your side, right? And then that sailing metaphor, I thought, again, was just powerful. I thought these guys did really well. No title again. This one was fun. Somebody in the comments noted that the handwriting looks like the Declaration of Independence, and I think that's true. It's pretty cool. This was the procrastination group, and I really wanted to fire them for being the last ones done, but I think they did a good job, and I probably won't. So I guess it's apropos that they were last. I don't know what Yogesh was drawing here, but it looks like somebody in a onesie rubbing their belly. This one I thought had some good stuff. I liked the cycle notion and how they kind of carried on that scientific language and mentioned the loop later and kind of kept coming back to it. I thought that was very effective for them. I thought they had really good audience awareness as well. That dipped a little bit in paragraph 5 for me, but I thought they did some good things. Even that phrasing of, the antithesis to seize the day. I thought that was cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, that's great. And this last one on phones, I thought, again, also really solid. This quote, again, well chosen. They've done some careful crafting, and I like the balance, right? It's a sentence that has great balance, and it's a sentence about balance. And you're doing something right when the form reflects the content, and that's exactly what's happened here. Okay. Artwork is simple but clean. Got these people with no noses. I'm not troubled by that, though. Okay. Got a title here, which is a good thing. 2-minute case against phones. It's very clear, but again, it's a broader case, right? The case is to unplug, as I do this with my phone, right? One sentence paragraph, love it. Good work on the voice throughout this one, I thought. Again, I thought the intro was strong at connecting with the audience and kind of knowing who we are. Paragraph 2, I thought was okay. I thought it picked up when we got to this question, that what's the price, right? Once we introduce the stakes, I think that raises things for us and intensifies it. And I thought the closing line was very strong. Got the 3 E's, the rule of 3 we'll talk about eventually. Okay. I thought that was really good. So what I've decided, I thought the strongest one overall was this one. And I thought these two were also pretty close by there. I thought the letters one was right behind. And then I thought these two were probably on the weaker side of the two, each with a similar problem about specificity, one in message and one in evidence. And this one was the only one that took kind of some design risks. It's the only one out of both classes with a different size bag. We did some things that I thought were interesting. The title, I thought it was a more complete picture than this one was. So I'm going to fire this group. I don't know which group it is or who's in it, so I'll apologize to you even though I don't know those things. So we'll make this group our first Minions group, which again last year out of my 4 apprentice winners, 2 were fired on the first task. And so still lots of opportunities to keep doing well and trying new things and branching out, and that's where we'll try to go next week. So really good job on these again. I appreciate your work, and we'll get back to it on Monday.